our existing deck, and it was not built with the thought of having a gate, and now we're going to try and put in the sliding gate. The first problem we ran into is that we have a sill up here. It's a 2x8, and that's covering the 2x4, which would act as a rail for that to slide on, as well as the lower 2x4, which would act as a lower rail for the guides to catch. As well, all the spindles here would have to come off and be cut maybe 1.5 inches down and 1.5 inches up, so that they would not interfere with the gliding rollers across here. So it looked like a lot of work. There were we looked at 4 or 5 different options. The first option was to shim up the sill by maybe 1.5 inches and then come in and cut these. The second option was to take these off, run a circular saw down here about 1.5 inches, and then relocate these down at the very edge so that we'd be able to slide, and that way the sill would stay in the same place. I've seen some YouTubers, they wound up shimming the entire sill all the way around the deck to keep it even. I was thinking if I just cut it here, I would leave the sill the same place all over the rest of the deck, and that was another option. So a third option was to just build out. To show you what we were doing was to just build out another rail out here and then have this glide on that outer rail. But by the time you got done, it would be about 6 inches off, and it really wouldn't look good and take up a lot of room. So we took these 2 pieces and we just mounted them to the existing rail, these guides, as opposed to having them back to back the way they are in the instructions. And then we got rid of the bottom guide, because if we use those guides, we're going to have to cut all these rails down. So what we did was get rid of the bottom guide and just put a rail down here, so that if somebody just went and grabbed this down here, they couldn't actually tilt it out and get it off easily. So that's basically what that does. And it also helps guide it so that when this comes in, you can see this alignment. So that rail helps keep it aligned so it hits these 2 rollers. So it hits these 2 rollers as it comes back. And then the other consequence now with this hardware was we just had to shim this out a little bit so that would catch. And unfortunately, because we have this bench here, we really can't, go all the way. I think in the instructions it would have it back here. So we mounted hardware here, and if we wanted to lock this, we could just use these carabiners and lock it here versus having the latch close. So that's how we did it. And we just unlatch it and roll it down.